All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Start U of G session all about university resources. My name is Jenny, and I use she and her pronouns. And I am part of the START team who is helping you folks prepare this summer for transitioning into the University of Guelph starting in fall 2024. Before we get started, I would love to begin with a land acknowledgement. So it's with great respect that the START team acknowledges that the University of Guelph resides on the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe and the treaty lands and the Mississaugas of the Credit. And I know today we might be tuning in from all different parts of the world beyond Guelph, but really today it's important to recognize what is bringing us together for this virtual session is this land that the University of Guelph resides on. And it's really important to acknowledge that, this is a gathering place to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. And it's important to acknowledge the land and our relationship with the land where we will all learn and grow. And as a new Gryphon, you're going to hear different land acknowledgements throughout your time at the University of Guelph. And it's really important to understand why we do them and what is the meaning behind those. So we're going to post a link in the chat all about kind of land acknowledgements at Guelph. And I really strongly encourage you to take some time today to visit that website and learn more. So we have a really exciting session here for all you folks today. We have a bunch of different folks from across the university who are here to share with you all about kind of what they do and how they can support you throughout your time here at the university. These resources are not just for your first year. These resources are available to you throughout your entire academic journey with us. So don't think that these are only for your first year. They're available to you throughout your entire time. We also do have a question and answer feature where you folks are able to ask questions. These questions are anonymous, so please do not put anything super personal like your student number or any identifying information. If you do have a specific question that requires, maybe us to know a bit more about you in order to answer that question, please email start@uguelph.ca, and we would be happy to assist you. So today, all of our resources, we're going to review kind of resources for your university journey, like your campus card, how to eat on campus. We'll talk about some wonderful academic resources that are there for you to help in your academic journey. And then we're also going to touch on some resources that are available to you for that support outside of the classroom. This is not any and all of the resources on campus. If I did kind of go through all of the resources and supports on campus, we'd be here for many days. And we only have an hour together. So you will hear about more resources throughout your time at the University of Guelph, and you'll also hear other resources highlighted in the Start U of G emails, which you folks should be getting every Monday. But if you do have a question specifically and you're like, I'm not sure where I would go for, insert your example here, we're also more than happy to get you connected. So we are very excited to welcome our first resource that we're going to talk about, which is hospitality and our campus card. So I'm going to welcome Brooke.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brooke. I work for Hospitality Services here at the University of Guelph. My pronouns are also she, her, and we will hop right in. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about today is your U of G campus card. So as it says in our slide here, this is your official University of Guelph identification card, but it also works as your student meal card, as well as your bus pass, and you'll use it for various activities kind of across campus. But you will need this card available on you to pay for your meals when dining on campus. So that's super important to know. And we do like to say that this is the most important piece of ID you will need with you while at U of G. Important deadline, we're just throwing it out there. You must submit your campus card information by July 25th at the very latest. Ideally, if you can get your documents in before that, the team at the campus card office would be greatly appreciative, but the sooner you can get them in, the better. And again, July 25th is the deadline there. So just keep that in mind in your calendars. We can go to the next slide. Thank you. So we'll hop into hospitality services. So in case you didn't know, hospitality services at the University of Guelph has been voted #1 in Canada by Maclean Magazines for over 10 years now, which is extremely exciting for us. We have over 25 on-campus dining locations. So that includes our flagship, which is Creelman Hall, the UC Chef's Hall, Windows Cafe located at Mountain, and then, of course, at least three Starbucks on campus. But we have a lot of other options available as well. One really important thing to know is that when you are using your meal plan, you are not actually confined to whatever is actually in your residence. So if you live at LA, you do not have to dine at LA every day. You are welcome to dine campus-wide, which is great. So you'll really see kind of a wide range of food and cuisine across campus. So from popular comfort food to salad bar, international cuisine, and a ton of really fun features. We are a very chef-driven program, which you'll really notice when you're on campus. And it's a really great menu on a daily basis. And we do offer a wide variety of food selections. So including vegan, vegetarian, kosher, halal, gluten-free menu items. But we do ask that if you do have any dietary restrictions or allergies, that you contact SNAP, so our Student Nutrition Awareness Program, or our registered dietitian, Jessie, directly to get in touch about any dietary restrictions or allergies that you want to touch base about. Next slide. So we can touch on meal plans a little bit because you are getting to the point in time where you're going to start making these decisions. So there are a few things that you're going to want to think about when you're selecting your meal plan. So we've kind of listed out those questions for you. So the first thing is, how often do you think you'll be dining on campus? Are you going to be here every day? Do you think maybe you'll go home on weekends? Are you going to be here in the evenings? So these are things to consider. How often you like to eat. I personally am a big snacker. I like to eat throughout the day. So that's one thing that I would like to consider. What portion sizes do you typically eat? And then are you in a residence with a kitchen? So for example, if you're in East, it will be a very different dining situation than if you're living in South. So again, just to mention, our meal plans are mandatory if you are living in residence, unless you are living in more of a townhouse style, so East residence, or the townhouses. So that's just something to consider. We do have 5 different types of meal plans, so they do range from light to varsity. You can see on this slide. From minimum to varsity, sorry. And really the big difference this year is those flex dollars, and we will touch on those in the next slides. So what you'll notice in your meal plan is that your meal plan is split into 2 plans or buckets, as we can call them. So when you're looking at the description of your meal plans, you're going to see that there is a basic dollar section as well as a flex dollar section. So your basic dollars are going to be used on campus for all food purchases at hospitality service dining locations. So that includes Creelman, UC Chef's Hall, Mountain, Prairie, LA, and anything that is owned and operated by hospitality services. That is the much larger part of your meal plan. And that's what you'll be using on campus specifically. One thing to note is that our meal plan is what is called a declining balance meal plan. So it essentially works as you come into the dining halls, you'll get what you want to eat, you'll put it on your tray, you'll leave at the cash register, you will pay for only what you have selected. So it functions, I guess, similar to like a gift card or a debit card. So as you go through, your balance declines as you make transactions. You can actually see your balance on the Get app, so that's available for you. You can see it on our online services, and you can also see your balance as you're going through the cash. It will pop up on the cash registers as well. So there are a lot of places available where you can see where you're at with your meal plan. So the second section of your meal plan is called your flex dollars or your flex account. So this is used for off-campus partners. So we have about, it ranges year to year, but this year we're at about 25 off-campus partners. You can use it at campus vending machines, the bull ring and brass taps. We like to call those on-campus, off-campus partners because they are physically on campus, but they're not run and operated by hospitality services, but you can still use your meal plan there. Convenience grocery items, delivery orders at some of our off-campus restaurant partners, as well as Red Top Taxi. There's a QR code on this screen that you are more than welcome to scan. We keep up-to-date information on our website, so you can kind of keep an eye on that throughout the course of the year. The one thing to note, sorry, just about basic versus flex. So your flex dollars are tax exempt. Your basic dollars are tax exempt, and they do give you a 25% discount on all pricing on campus, so all of our on-campus locations. When you walk around our dining halls, you'll often see two sets of prices listed on the menus. So there'll be RMP, which is your residence meal plan, or there'll be either cash or retail price, which is the price you'd pay if you're paying debit or credit. So just know that with your residence meal plan, you get 25% off that cash or retail price, and it is tax exempt, whereas your flex dollars are not tax exempt and they are taxes included. So feel free to get in touch with us if you have any questions. We've provided a couple of QR codes here. So we do have a flip book available online that will give you a much more detailed version of what it's like to dine on campus. So that's the first QR code there. And then the second one is we did do a couple of dining hall tours. So you can take a look at what it's like to dine here on campus. And again, that was just a very brief overview of dining. There's a lot more that we could say, but please feel free to reach out if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Brooke, for telling us a bit about Campus Garden Hospitality. We did notice that there are a few questions coming through about off-campus students in the meal plan. All meal plans are the same. So off-campus students can purchase any of the 5 meal plan options. I don't know, Brooke, if you wanted to add anything there.
So that's actually new this year, which is super exciting. So first year students who are living off campus will now have access to purchase any of the on-campus dining plans. So that will be available through WebAdvisor. They'll be able to select whichever meal plan works best for them if you are in first year.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brooke. Wonderful. So like Brooke mentioned, that there are options, and then there's some wonderful links up in the chat and also on the screen if you folks are interested to learn more about the different meal plan options. So now we're going to kind of jump into the next section of the session today. We're going to flip and look at some academic resources. So what are some resources that can help you folks succeed in your academic journey? So the first resource that we have is called the Lincoln Alexander Center, or the LINC for short. You'll realize throughout your time here, the university loves to use acronyms for different things. And sometimes when you've been at the university for a while, you could just kind of integrate them into your regular lingo. But as a new student, you might be like, what the heck is this words that you're speaking? So if there ever is an acronym that someone says, I would encourage you folks to always ask what that is, because sometimes we can just tend to use them without really explaining. So the LINC is really a one-stop shop for all your things needed for enrollment, finances, and records. So it is on the 3rd floor of the University Center, and they really help support you in answering questions about course selection, getting you connected to your program counselor, things about OSAP, the documents that are needed, what that application looks like, different scholarships and bursaries. So scholarships are for usually academic merit or standing, and then bursaries are for financial need and financial assistance. They are also the folks who are responsible for all your student records. So your transcripts, making sure they do convocation and making sure once you're done your time here at U of G that you can actually get your degree, and a bunch of other things. They also do things like confirmation of enrollment if you're looking for like to withdraw money from your RESP all those things. They provide support both via email and phone. And they're also available for in-person drop-ins if you're close to Guelph and want to stop by campus. Please note, though, that their summer hours, so now until the end of August, are from 12 p.m. noon, so Eastern Standard Time, and 4 p.m. But if you folks have any questions about the link, the website is being posted in the chat. We also are having a Start UG session coming up in a few weeks on university finances, where we will cover a lot of things about applying for OSAP scholarships, all of those pieces there. So check out that session as well for more information. But now it's my pleasure to welcome Heather onto the screen to talk about writing and learning services, which is another wonderful academic support on campus.
All right. Thanks so much, Jenny. So hi, everyone. My name is Heather, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm a learning specialist in the library. And I wanted to take you through what it might be like when you first enter the library. We have a giant Ask Us desk there. That's what it says right above it. And that is the place you really want to go when you have any questions. Either they'll be able to answer the question for you directly, or they'll be able to direct you to the person or the resource that's best for you. I wanted to share, as a learning specialist, some of the questions that we get from students in the library. And if you find yourself asking yourselves these questions, it's a really great indication to come into that front door and speak to somebody right there at the front desk, or check us out online for any of our resources, or to book an appointment. So the questions that we often get are things like, is my paper academic enough? Where can I get English language support? How is studying for tests and exams different at university than it was in high school? Is there a way that I can be more efficient when doing research for papers and assignments? Is there a place that I can go to online to find the best books or journal articles for a specific class? If you're working with data, how can I analyze my data? Some of you might have heard that there are some courses in first year that are particularly tough. So you might be asking yourself, like, where can I get supports for those specific courses? And at U of G, those are called supported learning groups. So you're going to be wanting to, keep your eyes and ears out for that information. Where's the best study space on campus? This one's been coming up more and more recently. How do I do citations and referencing in my papers? And I'm really scared about plagiarism. So that's something that comes up often. Something that comes up early in the semester is like, what's the best way to take notes for class? Lectures can be pretty long, and I don't know if I should try to write down everything the prof is saying, or if there's a better way to take notes. And another one that comes up is, how can I manage my time? It might seem like there's a lot of time in your schedule because your classes are booked in there, but there might be only like 15 or 20 hours of classes or labs. So you might be thinking like, oh, this is like a lot of spares or something like that. But it's a little bit different at university in that extra time, 15 or 20 hours a week ish, different depending on how you study and what program you're in. But that other 15 to 20 hours is really that independent study time, work time, group work time. Often people come in for that specific question. How do I schedule myself so I can get the best experience out of university? And another one is, where can I get private one-on-one coaching or consultations? So if you're thinking about like how you study more efficiently, or if you have a lot of courses with multiple choice tests and that's new for you, or you're not confident in multiple choice testing, you might think about booking an appointment with a learning specialist for those things. There's also different like apps and technologies that we can recommend for different types of studying. We specialize in any type of studying, time management, and presentation skills. If you're thinking about your writing project, you're wondering if you're writing at the level that your prof is looking for, or you have English as an additional language, there are writing appointments that you can book. Again, that's one-on-one, either with upper years students or graduate students, around organizing your ideas or structuring your paper. You can also get advice on like the clarity of your writing, the style, and if the work is cohesive, if you're making your point throughout your writing. So you can book that again online. Students have asked us to share that one of like the hot tips for being super efficient with the research that you're doing for your projects and papers is to start with a research librarian. So they're the ones that really go deep into how and where do you search for particular information, and how do you track what you're searching so you're not making the same search over and over again. And you might have already experienced that when you're doing papers now. They also help with that citation and any concerns about plagiarism. We also have data folks in the library who can help you with analyzing data. You might not get to that so much in first year, but just to remember that that is available for you as you're starting to work with data more deeply. I mentioned a minute ago about supported learning groups. I'm mentioning supported learning groups now, but for the rest of your time at U of G, they'll be called SLGs, and most students don't even remember what that acronym stands for later on, but they do remember the SLGs. And in the chat, somebody's going to post the link to the SLG info. So SLGs are awesome. There's a video also on that webpage if you want to take a peek at that. But it's really about studying in a group, making friends while you're studying. So when you go to a supported learning group, it won't conflict with your lecture for that class, but you'll meet other students who are also really keen on doing well in that class. And then there's a guide for that class or facilitator who will take you through the whole semester of study techniques, learning techniques. That student will have also taken the class and done really, really well in the class. And they'll be able to give you some hints and tips about things like what your professors are expecting and better strategies to study for particular types of content. So I encourage you to start that. Those will be booked like the third week of class. But if you already start thinking about booking that into your schedule every week, I think you'll have a really amazing experience with that first year, because the strategies that you learn in the SLGs can also be applied to your other courses that you haven't got an SLG for. So we also have, I mentioned technology, thanks for that switch. And on the first floor of the library is LAS, which is where that technology resides in the library. But that particular office is for students registered with SAS. And Michelle is now going to tell you all about SAS. And here's all our contact information for supporting your success at the library. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Heather. We're going to turn it over to Michelle.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Heather and Jenny. So I will give a little bit of information about SAS now. For those of you who are not familiar, SAS stands for Student Accessibility Services, and Student Accessibility Services is on campus primarily to help address the structural barriers when a disability is affecting a student's functioning. We do this by providing academic accommodations and supports to assist in breaking down these barriers and providing equitable access to education. So, for instance, if you're a student who had an IEP in high school, an individual education plan, or if you received any accommodations and supports for disability related reasons, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you connect with Student Accessibility Services. Again, that's SAS. So SAS supports students with documented disabilities. This can include anything from learning disabilities to mental health disorders, physical mobility, dexterity, ADHD, concussions, and also medical disabilities. So some of you might be wondering, what are the supports available? I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the supports that students might be eligible to access. These could include exam accommodations. So for instance, you could receive additional time, or you could access a quiet space to write the exam, as well as classroom accommodations, such as note-taking or assistance with note-taking. Now, in order to register with Student Accessibility Services, you will need to complete the SAS application, which will be found on the Student Accessibility Services student portal. And you'll need to upload appropriate documentation which supports your learning needs. The documentation needs to be current and it needs to be completed by a registered health professional. So, for instance, a psychiatrist would be perfectly acceptable. The criteria and guidelines are also going to be available on the website, which will be posted in the chat shortly. Once the application and your documentation is reviewed, you will then be assigned an advisor who will assist you in setting up individual accommodations. And really, once you have an advisor, that's going to be your main point of contact moving forward. So if you need any other support or you have any other accessibility related needs, you're going to want to touch base with your advisor. I do also want to just say that students are very encouraged to attend Start Accessible, which is our amazing orientation to student accessibility services. And I'm also the orientation team member who is leading Start Accessible. So I would be very, very happy to see you folks there. So Start Accessible is going to be taking place on August 29th and August 30th. So that's going to be the Thursday and the Friday. And it's really a great opportunity, not only just to meet your advisor, learn about like all of the accessibility related services that we provide, but also to meet other students. So we have some really exciting and fun social activities that we're planning, still in the works, but really, really exciting there for Start Accessible. Lastly, we do also provide information sessions virtually in July and August, so you can have some of your questions answered that way as well. The next virtual session that we have is going to be July 11th at 12 o'clock, and the Q&A is going to be primarily focused on supports and residence-related questions. And you can also check those out. We have a complete list on the SAS Summer Events website, so you can check that on the orientation programming. For more information on registering with SAS and our summer events, please visit the SAS website, which will now be posted in the chat. And Jenny, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing a bit about Start Accessible. I love the amount of questions that are coming through in the chat. So wonderful. Keep those going and we'll do our best to respond. But just so you folks know as well, it might feel like tons of information today, and that is normal. And all this information will get sent to you again during orientation week in your emails. So do not worry about having to remember all of this after today. The session is recorded, and you'll also get it all again. So now we're going to jump into our final section, and we're going to talk about resources outside of the classroom, because your university experience is, yes, about your academic journey, but it is also about those pieces that you choose to engage with outside of the classroom, like your wellness, athletics, getting involved. And our next set of presenters are going to chat with us about kind of what supports they have for that. So it's my pleasure to welcome Rebecca on the screen to talk about wellness.
Hi, folks. As Jenny said, my name is Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the wellness educators in the Wellness Education and Promotion Center. So my center is part of Student Wellness Services, which offers support for all of your physical and mental health needs. We're located on campus in the JT Powell building, which once you're here, it's right beside the Athletics Center, so it's really easy to find us. This is just going to be a quick overview of our services, but there's more details available online at wellness.uofguelph.ca. I also would love to have you folks follow us on Instagram, which is at wellness_U of G. There's a QR code on the screen right now, so definitely scan it to stay in the loop about all of our services and events. We're always posting educational content, fun events, and lots of giveaways. So definitely follow us so that you can stay in touch throughout the year and throughout your time at university. There's a number of different units within student wellness, so I'm going to touch briefly on each of them. Everything that I'm going to talk about is free for students or is covered by your insurance, regardless of whether you're international or domestic, minus a couple of things which I'm going to touch on specifically. So as I mentioned, I work in the Wellness Education and Promotion Center. We offer health and well-being programming, resources, and student peer-to-peer support. We cover topics including mental health and self-care, substance use, sexual health, and sexual and gender-based violence education. We run a number of peer-to-peer programs like our You Shine Peer Mentorship Program, which is designed to help you work on building habits to support your well-being, our Student Recovery Community, which is for folks looking to make changes in their substance use habits, and a program called Wellness and Dragons, which is a mental well-being program based in playing Dungeons and Dragons. We also run the Student Support Network, which offers drop-in peer support. So there's a team of extensively trained student volunteers who are ready to provide a supportive ear to any U of G student. On top of all of those programs, we also run lots of different workshops, events, resource sessions, resource fairs, etc. So as I said, take a look at our social media or follow our Griff Life page to learn more about what's coming up. Also, part of student wellness is counseling services, which has a number of different options to support students through their personal challenges. These include individual counseling appointments, same-day drop-in or urgent crisis support, therapy groups on a number of different topics, including counseling for Black and racialized students and LGBTQ2IA+ students. Students who are accessing counseling for the first time start off with meeting with a student wellness navigator who's going to provide you with resources and support options, whether that's in student wellness, on campus, elsewhere, or off campus, and figure out for you what's going to best suit your needs so you don't have to figure it on your own. We have our Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Support Office, which is the place to go to determine options related to sexual and gender-based violence to seek support. It doesn't have to be about anything that happened on campus or doesn't have to require reporting. It doesn't even have to be something that happened to you if it's impacting a friend or a family member. Our sexual and gender-based violence support coordinators can help support you through things like accommodations in classes, safety planning, reporting if that's something that you wanted to do, court dates, and more. We also have our student health services, which is your family doctor away from home. They provide health and medical services for U of G students, including treatment for illness and injury, reproductive health, including STI testing, birth control, etc., mental health support from our psychiatrists, dietitian services, immunizations, and more. So again, that will all be covered by your OHIP, or if you're an international student, your UHIP. Next, we have our Health and Performance Center. So these cover your other pieces of your physical health, including chiropractic, physiotherapy, massage therapy, and more. These are the only services in our building that are pay per use. But again, a lot of them are included at least partially in your student health benefits that you get through the Central Student Association. So definitely worth checking out to see what you can get covered on campus. And the final part of our department is student accessibility services, which I won't be touching on since Michelle already told you all about them. But if you have any questions about any of these services, please definitely take a look at our website, wellness.uofguelph.ca, which will get posted in the chat, or you can email my team, which is wellness@uofguelph.ca, and we're happy to help orient you to the right service, the right link, etc. So definitely check us out. We're excited to see you when you're on campus.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that really amazing overview. And Wellness Services has so many amazing supports for you folks that Becca gave an overview of, but I highly recommend looking into them as well. We are going to next learn a bit more about athletics, but rather than just tell you about athletics, we're going to watch a short video that provides a really great tour and overview of what our athletics facilities actually look like.
we're at the Guelph Gryphon's Athletic Center, GGAC for short, where we house the majority of our fitness and recreation programming. It's also home to our varsity swim team, our basketball team, and our volleyball team, as well as the varsity training facility. The GGAC is huge. Built in 2016, it connects to the historic wing of the Mitchell Athletic Center. There's a lot to see, so let's get going. Here at the University of Guelph, all full-time students get access to an athletics-based membership as part of their tuition, which grants them student discounts on things like the Rockwall membership here, as well as rec basketball and swimming for free. The GGAC is also home to RBC on campus, as well as our own Gryphon locker, where you can buy all your Gryphon gear and things like goggles for the pool and locks for your locker. RBC on campus is where you can go to get pro tips about banking and financial questions from their on-site staff. So all students come through client services to swipe in using their student card. And here at Equipment Lending, you can borrow things like towels, basketballs, and rackets for all our indoor drop-in activities. So once you get your things, you can head over to one of our 3 change rooms where you can store your belongings. We have men's, women's, and universal change rooms, which offer private changing stalls as well as day-use lockers. And if you'd like to rent out a locker, you can do that in the men's and women's change rooms. Welcome to the Gryphon's Aquatic Center, where we have 2 pools and a recreational hot tub. The gold pool is 25 meters long and 8 lanes wide. So the red pool has both a shallow end and deep end with a diving board and accessible lift. These pools play host to a variety of clubs, varsity swim team, intramurals, and registered programming like swim lessons, first aid certifications, and scuba diving. You can also just come in for a drop-in rec swim or to use the hot tub, one of my favorite ways to distress during exams. We're also one of the largest intramural programs in Canada, with leagues ranging from fun to competitive. We have many ways for you to get involved with sports while you're here. Looking for the next level? Get involved with one of our sports clubs. Let's check out the fitness center next. This beautiful 22,000 square foot space is just next to some of our student residences and comes with state-of-the-art fitness equipment for all your fitness needs. If you're new to the space or feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything here, make sure to ask one of our staff members for a free orientation. We'll even spot you. You get access to the space with our Energy Pass for a low semesterly rate. So on the 3rd floor of the GGAC, we have our fitness studios and our dance studios. We also have our wrestling room, which is home to our cheerleading team, wrestling team, and martial arts programs. As mentioned before, this building is home to your Gryphon's volleyball and basketball teams. You get free access as a student to all regular season home games. Check out gryphons.ca for dates and times. That wraps up our tour of the GGAC. As you can tell, the opportunities to stay active on campus are virtually endless. If you need any more information on scheduling and updates, check out gryphons.ca. We look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, folks. So like the video mentioned, if you do have any questions, it is great to check out gryphons.ca/fit-and-rec. We'll post that in the chat as well, and also a link to their Instagram where you can stay up to date on their most recent team games, home games, away games, and all the things that our athletics team has to offer. But now I'd like to welcome Jack to the screen, and Jack is going to talk to us about our Central Student Association.
Hello. All right, we have the video there. I'm here to talk about the Central Student Association. So the CSA, for short, is the student government on campus. It is run by students for students. It's a registered not-for-profit organization, and it is governed by a body of students who are elected on an annual basis to a board of directors. All the important stuff is the services we offer, though, as part of basically what is a semi-municipal government for the small community that is campus. The CSA is able to offer a lot of services that the university doesn't or can't, or for whatever reason doesn't have right now, or things that actually build on a lot of the services that the university does offer. So while the student executive here advocate for students, if you have an academic issue that comes up that you need somebody to be a representative for, the CSA can be here for you. The next slide is actually the meat and potatoes of where the CSA is at. So if we can go to the second slide there. Awesome. So your Central Student Association, the student government on campus, offers a ton of services that help build on the community that campus actually does have here on campus. If you're looking at student clubs, you want to get involved in things, special interests. If you're looking for a community that is a cultural-based community, somebody who's from the same place you are, that's where we look at the CSA Clubs office. So right here on the slide, you can see the many different services that the CSA offers. From the do-it-yourself bike center. We also offer the bull ring, as mentioned by hospitality earlier. That's the coffee shop on campus, offering some of the cheapest food and the cheapest ATM if you need to access cash for any reason. The CSA provides the universal bus pass that turns your student card into your bus pass, so that through the fall and winter semesters, you can use Guelph Transit basically unlimited. That's something that you pay into, but is provided by the CSA. The club's office is where the community of thousands of students start to participate on campus. If you're looking for anything from tabletop games to a certain kind of religious club, the CSA offers all these communities, and you can find them all on grifflife.ca. You can also find information about this on our website, csaonline.ca, which was on the first slide. It's hard to plug the first slide and then the second one. If you are food insecure for whatever reason throughout your undergraduate journey, we offer a food bank for students to access on a monthly basis. We have a Safe Walk program that runs every night throughout the fall and winter semesters. So if you want a walk around campus or don't feel safe on your own anywhere on the campus grounds, you can call Safe Walk and they will come join you. We have the Student Help and Advocacy Center, where, again, like I mentioned, if you have an academic issue, something's gone wrong and you need advocacy or tenancy, if you're looking for housing, right now that might be a big thing. SHAC is the contact to reach. Again, all of this can be seen on the csaonline.ca, our website. We also offer, like Rebecca mentioned earlier, the health and dental plan. So that is health insurance for every student. Every undergraduate student can access this. Also dental insurance. The health insurance is something that everybody pays into. Dental insurance is optional, and you're able to opt out of that in your first semester here or whenever you'd like to. In addition to that, we have the canon.ca, which is a buy and sell website, mostly for rentals for housing and or textbook swapping. So if you're looking for textbooks for your class, the Canon is the place to go. You can start looking as of now. The website is live. If you're looking for housing still, it's a good place to look. And the CSA finally offers a menstrual hygiene initiative. So a number of the common buildings on campus, including the University Center, the library, and the Athletic Center, all have menstrual hygiene products provided in the bathrooms. This is something that we've started doing as of 2017 and is, a really progressive thing that we've been able to manage to push onto campus. And we're looking to expand it. So while we're not in residence buildings yet, if you are in residence, in the future, we might have it in there. And last but not least, we also offer a lot of live entertainment on campus. So for any events that we're running, whether that is a bingo or a trivia or live music, I would recommend following us on Instagram as well at CSA Guelph on Instagram. At CSA Guelph. You can find out what we're doing. You can follow us. If you want to get involved in any clubs, you need advocacy for any reason, and you want to see what events we're running, that's where you can find all of our current up-to-date things. And for more information, csaonline.ca.
Thank you so much, Jack. We really appreciate it. Definitely, the CSA has lots of different things to offer, and you will be hearing more throughout your time here at University of Guelph. But you'll also get to hear about some awesome things and get to meet some of the executives, get to see Jack around campus during orientation week as well. So we're now heading into the final section of our session today, and that is student experience. I might be a little biased, but this is my favorite section, and that's because I actually work in the Department of Student Experience. So we're going to hear from some wonderful folks in just a moment about what they do, but our whole goal here at Student Experience is to support you with your student experience, whatever that may be. And that student experience is going to look different for each and every one of you. And just know that that is totally okay. There's not one size fits all, but we're here to provide support and also events and community for you folks as well. So first off, I would like to welcome Ali to the screen to talk about the Indigenous Student Center.
Hi, thanks, Jenny. Whoa. Okay, here we are. All right, it's happening. Anine, bonjour, everybody. My name is Ali Stute. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Indigenous Student Advisor here in Student Experience. I am located in the Indigenous Student Center. I am Anishinaabe. I'm a member of Beausoleil First Nation, and I also have Dutch and Irish ancestry. And my role as the Indigenous Student Advisor is to support First Nations, Inuit, and Métis students sort of in like navigating the campus. And that could mean physically navigating the space or navigating certain policies or procedures. If they're receiving financial funding, we help support with that. If they are experiencing possibly some sort of like discriminatory or microaggression on campus, then we support them in that space as well. So yeah, I really help to guide students to different resources and supports on campus. Many of the ones that have been talked about here and listed today are some of the ones that I direct students to. I can provide support around personal matters, academic concerns, and connect students to other students and members within the community. So like I said, I work out of the Indigenous Student Center. And so my role is the Indigenous Student Advising, but there's lots of other supports that the Indigenous Student Center offers to all folks on campus too. So the ISC strives to provide a supportive environment and sort of be that home away from home for First Nations, Inuit, and Métis students. We have 4 full-time professional staff, myself, my manager, and then also we have 2 coordinators of like projects and programming, and we host a bunch of different events. So in this past year, we had over 200 events and programs that were coordinated. And most of them were open to actually all students, which was really great because it provides this space and opportunity for everyone to learn and everybody to come together and meet new folks and really just have amazing experiences. Some of our events from the past few years have included things like Métis dot painting. We've done a lot of beading workshops. We've made dream catchers before. We also have traditional knowledge holders. So we have like weekly visiting elders and knowledge holders that come in. They've provided learning circles and sharing circles around things like packing and unpacking your bundle, engaging in ceremony, and then teachings around smudging. We also had Métis finger weaving, which is like yarn that you finger weave in a traditional like Métis way. So that was really cool. Learning about Métis histories, Louis Riel, and we even played some Métis games and then learned how to do Métis jigging. That was fun, a little cardio intensive, but it was good. It's a good time. Yeah, other events we have been less cultural, but just more supportive and resource connective. So we will have lots of workshops or info sessions with various other departments across campus. The past year has included Experiential Learning Hub. So an example of that, one of those workshops was a workshop on like setting up your LinkedIn profile, which I also found a lot of new and useful information for because mine's not great. So that was really awesome. We had a session with off-campus living around finding housing in Guelph. And we also had a session with a wellness educator on reproductive health and birth control, because that was a big topic and it's important to talk about. So yeah, we've had lots of really great events that are, for the most part, open to all. And if they're not open to all, it's very clearly stated in our promotional material. So that's an example of some of the like transitional learning. We have a tutoring support program where we financially reimburse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis students with tutoring, and I support them in finding a tutor. We have our weekly visiting elders and knowledge holders, like I said, and then our cultural learning circles, educational workshops. We also work in collaboration with other groups on campus, other departments. And an example of that would be the Indigenous Student Society, which is the Indigenous student group here on campus. So they will have kind of educational workshops, or they'll bring in speakers and we'll work in connection with them. Yeah, so that's just a really brief snippet of all of the different supports that we have through the Indigenous Student Center. The Indigenous Student Center is also like a physical space that's available for First Nations Inuit and Métis students to come and hang out. So not only are we providing all of those sort of support and programming resources, but we also have a physical space for folks. It unfortunately is in an inaccessible building, but we try to have all of our programming be in accessible spaces as well. So I am, in the interest of time, going to stop there because we've got a lot of amazing folks to listen through. So I'm not going to take up more time, but I'm really excited to meet you all. If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat. I can try to answer, although it's kind of confusing. The START team is doing a fabulous job running this. But you can also find my contact information on the website, and you can find the Indigenous Student Center on the Student Experience website as well. So now we are going to hear a little bit about Cultural Diversity Office from, I believe, someone.
Yes, so I'd like to welcome Binta to the screen. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Ali. And we'll hear a bit about Cultural Diversity Services.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Binta. I will now be sharing some information about Cultural Diversity Services. So the main goal of the Cultural Diversity Office and team is to support Black and racialized students on campus by helping with their development and learning needs. Cultural diversity also creates a supportive, affirming, and inclusive campus environment through programs and services designed for students to learn about themselves and others, engaging in meaningful cultural and spiritual conversations, exploring their commitment to social justice issues, and navigating university life from a focus on diversity and inclusion. Cultural Diversity also offers one-on-one support for students with Cultural Diversity Advisor, Shelly-Ann Hardiel, who is available to connect with students to support with any personal matters, academic, financial, social concerns, you name it. Shelly-Ann is there to support you, and you can book a meeting with Shelly-Ann using the link I will put in the chat. Moving on, Cultural Diversity also has a bi-weekly newsletter that students can subscribe to that includes posting about events, jobs and volunteering opportunities, and just additional information that's specific to Black and racialized students. Along with promoting events on campus and around the Guelph community, Cultural Diversity also offers several events, programs, and discussions throughout the year. So during O Week, there will be a few Cultural Diversity events, so be on the lookout for them through Gryphon Life and also the Black and Racialized Team channel that will be available for students to join in the upcoming week. Next, we have the core mentorship programs that are intended to support academic, social, and networking success. So there are two streams to the core program. The first one being the core peer mentorship program that is designed to assist first-year students with their transition to university life. So they will be matched with upper year students, which will be their core peer mentor, and other first year students. And together they will create a group called the core peer group to meet on a bi-weekly basis during the academic year. I will also put a link in the chat for the form if you would like to sign up for this program. And again, these services are all free of cost. And then we also have the core program available for upper year students to be connected with Black and racialized staff and faculty members. So something to look forward to in your second year and moving forward. Next, we have weekly discussions hosted by the Guelph Black Student Association, also known as the GBSA for short, in collaboration with Cultural Diversity Coordinator Amelia Kizabu, where students are given the space to engage in meaningful conversations surrounding their identity each week, having a themed topic. So in the past, topics have included things such as cultural appropriation versus appreciation, intersectionality, mental health in the Black community, Black identities around the world in relation to dance, music, food, cuisine, the list goes on. And then finally, we have Black History Month and planning events, which are also organized by Cultural Diversity as well. Some events in the past included workshops on how to braid hair, candle making, an Afro-Caribbean cooking class, a keynote address, and more. So overall, Cultural diversity has an endless list of support and resources for Black and racialized students. I will include another link to the main cultural diversity page in the chat here, and all the resources I mentioned and more can be found in that link as well. So that is all from me, and I will pass it over to Caleb from the Sexual and Gender Diversity Office.
Thank you so much, Vinda. So we are going to bring Caleb up to chat about what they do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caleb Harwood, and I use all pronouns. I am the Sexual and Gender Diversity Advisor here within the University of Guelph, and I work, as Jenny has said, within student experience. So what I do within my role is first and foremost, I do one-to-one advising with students, and what I can really help with is talking about anything from personal life, family dynamics, coming out, to what's actually happening with you with academics, and I can advocate on your behalf and with you through things as well. I'm also the resource that you can use to talk a little bit more about name changes at the University of Guelph if you're struggling with that or you bump into barriers, as well as getting you documentation with a dead name if you need that for your bank or OSAP or any other documents as well. I'm there to support you through all of those things. A part of my team is 5 wonderful student staff who run a lot of events. And I really want to plug our newsletter there because that's the best way to stay connected and to just be aware, because it'll come into your inbox once a week during the academic years, so that you know what events are coming up. So we do a lot of different events, which are in person usually around many different identities. We have one for all queer students to come together. We also have some for trans and gender diverse students. We have one specifically just for talking about coming out and many other aspects of coming out, as well as we hold spaces for intersecting marginalized identities, like a pre-colonial queer identities research project, as well as spaces for neurodiverse students who also hold queer identities as well. We also have an online chat, which runs from 7 to 10 every single night. And this year is our 50th anniversary of Outline, which is also a part of my team, which is run by my student staff. So pay attention to that and see what's new. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. A great way to keep up to date, again, is that newsletter and keep being aware of all the things, as well as like info on how to contact me will be there as well. Next, we have, oh, yeah.
Sorry, Caleb. Thank you so much, Caleb. So we are going to invite C on the screen, and C is going to speak about global pre-arrival support for our international students.
Thank you, Jenny. Hello, everybody. My name is C Liang. I use she and her as my pronouns, and I am the advisor from the Global Pre-Arrival Support Team. Our team is here to connect with the students who just from the moment that you receive the offer all the way until you settle down at Guelph, with the population that's either international students from studying inside Canada or outside Canada, also the Canadian students who are educated abroad. And our area of support can go mainly to 2 parts. One area is international immigration support that include like helping you with understanding to initial study permit applications and temporary resident visa or electronic travel document for you to enter Canada, anything related to co-op work permit, work eligibilities on or off campus, post-graduation work permit, eligibilities, and any kind of immigration updates. Apart from there, we also want to navigate informations related to your next step after you receive the offer, anything about like health insurance, housing, and anything like where to find those informations. And also we can direct you to the to the folks who are in that area for any like specific questions. Yeah, feel free to reach out to us through our email. Also, we do have a link to book appointment with me. If you have any questions, you can always start the conversation with me. I may not have the answer to all of your questions, but I'm happy to refer you to all the folks that was just presented, maybe for all the international students. Yeah, so I'm gonna pass the floor back to Jenny for the next guest.
Thank you so much, C. We really appreciate it. As C mentioned, her contact information is up on the screen, but you can also find it on our website as well. Our next group is the International Student Experience team, who couldn't be here with us today, but they provided a really wonderful video on how they support our international students here on campus.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Wong, and I use she or they pronouns, and I'm the coordinator of international student programs.
Hi everyone, I'm Hadissa and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a biochemistry student here at the University of Guelph and a student staff member working on STAR International Orientation taking place at the end of August.
Hi everyone, I'm Ernest and I use he and him pronouns. A big congratulations on your decision to be a Gryphon. We are excited to welcome you soon. I am a proud Gryphon myself. I started my journey at the University of Guelph as an international master student, and years later, I am here as an international student advisor.
For international students, we understand it can be exciting, yet nerve-wracking to start your university life in a new country. Navigating a new academic setting and expectations, and figuring out immigration policies, all while also adjusting to a new culture and way of life may feel daunting. And I assure you, it's completely normal to feel that way, and there are resources available for you to help overcome these challenges. We encourage you to get involved in the many communities being presented to you today, since it's one of the very best ways to meet new people, create lasting friendships, and build your circle of support. With the friends you meet here, we hope that you'll be able to find a home away from home in Guelph and in Canada.
As I've learned through personal experience, getting involved on campus is the very best way to gain transferable skills in a Canadian context. You may have developed skills like communication, collaboration, and organization through your high school involvement in your home country, but getting involved here, you can learn and improve on these skills, and hopefully translate them in your future job applications. Throughout the process, you might experience cultural differences. It may be overwhelming, but you're not alone, and it's okay to ask for help. The skills and experiences you will get are well worth taking the initiative to get involved. Transitioning and adjusting to your new lifestyle, culture, and education system can be challenging, and it's okay to feel nervous about getting involved in your first semester or first year. We hope that you will get involved as soon as you feel ready. However, if you're not sure where to start, feel free to talk to a student experience staff member, like Ernest or Amy. They're happy to guide you along the way.
That's right. Now you might be wondering, what are some of the ways to get involved in international student communities? You should get familiar with the International Student Experience, IAC for short. International Student Experience is a hub for supporting all international students. We want to support your individual needs, connecting you to resources on and off campus, and tailor programs to your individual needs. IAC is divided into two parts. We have the advising and programming. In terms of advising, we have international student advisors like myself. And guess what? You'll meet the second IAC very soon in the person of Matthew Keefe. And our joy is to help international students with their transitioning, questions around immigration, finances, getting involved, social insurance numbers, health insurance, connecting with other students, or you perhaps might be feeling homesick and overwhelmed. Feel free to reach out to one of the international student advisors, and we are happy to talk through any personal concerns you have. You might also be wondering, how do I book an appointment? We do have drop-in hours, and you also have the opportunity to book an appointment. To do that, it's very simple. You go on the Student Experience website, click on International Students, and you'll have opportunity to book an appointment with us.
Thank you very much, Ernest. And in terms of programming, we run various events, workshops, and socials to help with your transition to life in Guelph in Canada. These programs are designed to help you meet friends and connect with new people, explore Canadian culture, and discuss topics that are relevant to your unique experiences as international students. We also offer educational programs such as career development workshops and practical support, such as information sessions on how to file taxes in Canada.
Last but not least, we have Star International Orientation. If you're an international student, a new permanent resident, or an out-of-country Canadian, we have an orientation program tailored just for you. Star International will take place this year from Wednesday, August 28th to Friday, August 30th, and we will be covering tons of topics such as academic expectations, cultural adjustment in a new environment, learning about campus life and resources, and we'll host so many social events to help you meet new friends. You're not alone. And we hope you will get connected with peers who are in a similar situation or other students who have already gone through what you're about to go through. If you haven't registered, I highly recommend you register today. See you all
See
soon.
you
See you soon.
Wonderful. And now I'd like to invite Jen Muskleski on the screen to talk a little bit about our supports for transfer students.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, everybody. As Jenny mentioned, my name is Jen. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm the coordinator of transfer student programs here in the Department of Student Experience. I'm really excited to be part of this webinar today, and I know I'm coming toward the end, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I am really looking forward to sharing some of the resources that we have for new transfer students at U of G. So part of my role is to support new transfer and new mature students during your time here at the University of Guelph. And a big part of the support is helping new students find their way through a whole new post-secondary system. We recognize that transfer students are arriving from universities or colleges or Indigenous institutes throughout Ontario and Canada, and you've already had your own unique first year experience with all the successes and changes that have come with it. Since many services available to other first year students and many of the services we've talked about today are also applicable to transfer students, my goal is to help folks learn what accessing these might look like for them and how to find all of the information that you need in order to make an informed decision about what things might set you up for success the best. And it might sound like a lot of information to get across, but I do this in a couple different ways. So depending on the kinds of questions or resources that a student's looking for, I can often answer quick questions and send links to university websites via email for students that just have a quick question that they need an answer for. For longer conversations or for someone with multiple questions, I also offer one-on-one advising appointments via Teams to help answer some of those unknowns, or if I don't know the specific answer, or if I don't have certain expertise in a subject, I'll refer folks to the correct resource where they will be able to receive the best support possible for them. So for example, I cannot tell students about what specific courses you need to take, but I can tell you how to book an appointment with your program counselor or another academic advisor. And another way I support students is helping folks find and feel a sense of belonging on campus. And this can look like events during orientation week for all new students, as well as events specifically for transfer students that are designed with your unique experiences in mind to allow folks to meet others with similar post-secondary experiences to their own. I will also help with events and programs for students throughout the year to help folks connect and find community at a new school, because that can be a little bit intimidating. While the transfer and mature student population might be a little bit smaller than other first year student populations, we aim to help folks still feel seen and supported, and we cannot wait to meet you during orientation week. And I will pass things off to Jenny.
Amazing. Thank you, Jen. And last, we're going to have our final presenter, who is Christina. So Christina is going to chat with us a bit about the leadership education opportunities on campus.
All right. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Christina Eisenbach. My pronouns are she, her, and I work with student organizations on campus. So getting involved in clubs and different groups on campus is a really great way to build connections, find a sense of belonging here on campus, and of course, to meet lots of new friends. At our last count, we had over 320 active student organizations on campus. So there are a lot of different ways that you can get involved on campus, and there's lots of different types of groups that you can choose from here as well. The first kind of organization is academically based groups. These are tied to a specific area or program of study, such as perhaps the Engineering Society, the Accounting Students Association, or the Sociology and Anthropology Society, just to name a few. We also have interest-based clubs, including things like the Jugglers of the University of Guelph, the University of Guelph Debate Club, Origami Club, many others. We also have identity-based groups, so Guelph Queer Equality, our Guelph Black Student Association, or the International Student Association, again, many more. And then we also have student governments on campus. Now, you've already heard from the Central Student Association, and Jack spoke to us earlier, and that's our student union for all undergraduate students. But then in addition, each academic college also has a student government that represents you and your interests in a particular program or major on campus as well. These groups really range in size, and they've got lots of different ways for you to get involved. The other thing to keep in mind is that you might want to start getting involved just by attending different events or workshops that are going on campus, hosted by various different groups. And of course, this is a great way to meet people, especially when you're brand new on campus, and sort of explore and see what your areas of interest might be. You might be coming in with things you know you like to do, or you might want to try some new things. So how do you find these groups and how do you learn about how to get involved? That is a great question. You'll want to use your University of Guelph ID, your email address, to log into a site called Gryphlife. They're going to post a link in the chat to Gryphlife. Once you've logged in, gryphlife.ca, you can go in there, you can search for all the different clubs and groups and organizations on campus and find their contact information. And you can also browse all of their upcoming events and activities. Those all get posted to Gryphlife as well. And there are things there that are hosted by different student organizations, but also events that are hosted by university staff and departments as well. That being said, if you have any questions about Gryphlife or getting involved, please do feel free to reach out to our office. The email address is leader, Leader, @uaguelph.ca. And with that, we're going to wrap things up and turn it back over to Jenny.
Thank you so much, Christina, for taking us through all the wonderful opportunities. So thank you, folks, for sticking with us till the very end. We did go a little bit over time, but hopefully you got to see just a snippet of all the wonderful resources that we have to offer on campus. Like I said, it's a lot of info, and you don't need to know it all or have it all figured out. This session is recorded and posted on the Start U of G website, so startufg.ca. You are also more than welcome to email us with any questions at start@uofguelph.ca. It's myself and my amazing student staff orientation team who respond to those emails. No question is a silly question. We get all types of different questions. We're happy to support you. But until then, we hope you all are doing well, and we cannot wait to welcome you all in the fall. Bye, everyone. Thank you.